On the night of July 22nd, 2018, after celebrating her husband's birthday, Tatiane Spitzner said her goodbyes to friends and family as she and her husband, Luis Felipe Manvailer, returned to their apartment in Parana, Brazil. They were seen as a young, successful couple who had been married for almost 5 years. However, this night would take a tragic turn. After the couple returned to the apartment, a neighbor, Antonio, who lived in the same building, recounted hearing an argument followed by a loud bang, a sound that resembled something heavy falling. Concerned, he went down to investigate and was met with a chilling sight. Luis Felipe standing next to the lifeless body of his wife, Tatiane Spitzner. When Antonio suggested calling emergency services, known in Brazil as SAMU, Luis Felipe reportedly replied, "It's too late. She's already dead." Hola, hello, and welcome to Blood and Samba, your weekly dive into Brazil's most shocking and mysterious true crime cases. So if this is your cup of coffee, please consider liking and subscribing. This is the story of Tatiane Spitzner, a 29-year-old attorney whose life was tragically cut short. By all accounts from her family and social media, Tatiane appeared to be happily married to Luis Felipe Manvailer. However, on the night of July 22nd, 2018, everything took a devastating turn. On that fateful night, at 2:34 a.m. on July 22nd, attorney Tatiane Spitzner and her husband, biologist Luis Felipe Manvailer, arrived by car at their building. The couple was returning from a party. They stopped in front of the building. He was driving and she was in the passenger seat. The security camera captured Luis Felipe slapping Tatiane twice. The car door opened but was immediately shut again. Shortly after, Luis Felipe reopened the car door, pulled Tatiane by the hair, and shook her head several times. Tatiane closed the car door. Luis Felipe assaulted her again and then drove off. They entered the building's garage and parked near the elevators. Luis Felipe exited the car first, went to the passenger door, and forcibly removed Tatiane. At this moment, it's unclear what happens, but Luis Felipe assaulted her again, and with Tatiane on the ground, he kicked her before getting back into the car. She remained on the ground while he parked. Then, Luis Felipe returned and kicked Tatiane again. He lifted her up, and she appeared unconscious. The actions were caught by the CCTV cameras of the building. 2 minutes after falling to the ground, Tatiane stood, remaining motionless behind a pillar, while her husband walked toward the elevators. They were both visibly intoxicated after the night of heavy partying. At 2:40 a.m., Luis Felipe returned to look for Tatiane, who tried to escape from him. Luis Felipe chased after his wife. Tatiane entered the elevator and pressed the ground floor button. Luis Felipe entered immediately after and grabbed her arms. He pinned her against the wall and pressed the button for the 4th floor, where their apartment was located. When the elevator reached the ground floor, Tatiane tried to leave, but Luis Felipe held her. She struggled, trying to break free, but he managed to take her back into the elevator. When the doors closed, Luis Felipe shook Tatiane violently and threw her to the ground. When the elevator reached the 4th floor, Luis Felipe forced Tatiane out. She fell in the hallway, got up, and was pushed again. Luis Felipe gathered her belongings and followed her. Witnesses reported that the couple argued, and Tatiane Spitzner screamed for help while inside the apartment. There were 15 minutes between leaving the elevator and Tatiane's fall. The security camera captured the fall, but it's a very graphic image. Tatiana's body remained motionless on the sidewalk for 3 minutes until Luis Felipe arrived at 3 a.m. He entered the elevator carrying Tatiana's body. Luis Felipe placed the body on the elevator floor and held his head in his hands. He then took the body to the apartment, where he changed clothes before fleeing. Meanwhile, at 3:04 a.m., the police arrived after being called by neighbors. The officers went to the building entrance, just as Luis Felipe reappeared on the 4th floor. With a cloth, he cleaned bloodstains in the hallway, scrubbed the floor, and wiped the elevator walls. He left the elevator again, but quickly returned to scrub the wall once more. At 3:08 a.m., he drove away. The security camera showed in a single frame the police in front of the building and Luis Felipe's car driving down the street behind them. Luis Felipe Manvailer was arrested over 300 kilometers away. According to the police, he was attempting to reach Paraguay. In his statement, he denied this. He also claimed that Tatiana jumped from the balcony. Investigators accessing the security footage was crucial in confirming that Tatiane Spitzner was a victim of femicide. Tatiana was assaulted for over 20 minutes before her death. She had no intention of committing suicide. The public prosecutor's office is convinced that femicide was committed by Luis Felipe Manvailer against Tatiane Spitzner. The evidence collected during the investigation leads us to believe that the victim suffered progressive assaults that culminated in her death. Luis Felipe told his version of the events. He said, I quote, "I lost the woman of my life. With all her mistakes, her charms, and her quirks. I still love her. At that point in time of her jumping, I was completely out of my mind. I remember taking off my shirt. I think I went to the bathroom to get rid of the blood. I grabbed another shirt and went back to the living room. That image came, it seemed to zoom in, and Tatiana, my God, she's there dead." End cut. Luis's defense maintains that Tatiana jumped from the balcony and that her husband actually tried to stop her from committing suicide, but was unsuccessful. Tatiana's husband did not deny the fact that the two had frequent fights and had previously considered divorce, which was confirmed by the police during the investigation, which included analyzing messages on the attorney's cell phone, in which she sometimes reported the problems in her relationship to her friends. Despite having admitted to the fights, the biologist stated that the night of his wife's death was the first time he had been violent towards her. In his description of the fateful night, Luis also said that the attorney wanted to see his cell phone out of jealousy, that she was annoying him about it. Furthermore, already in their apartment, at the time of the argument, she approached the balcony and was making a scene. Luis Felipe Manvailer's jury trial ended on Monday, the 10th, after lasting 7 days. He was convicted of Tatiana's death and received 31 years in prison. Tatiane Spitzner's tragic story is a sobering reminder of how appearances can be deceiving. A life that seemed perfect on the surface was marred by hidden turmoil and violence. Her case not only highlights the devastating consequences of domestic abuse, but also calls on us as a society to pay closer attention to the signs, to listen, and to act. How many others might be silently enduring what Tatiana went through? Let her story be a wake-up call to ensure no voice goes unheard and no life is lost in vain. What do you think we can do better to prevent such tragedies? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the cases we cover. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe. Ciao.